Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. It's a costume. No, really. My office had a Halloween themed sales event today where everyone had to come in costume. Since I don't usually otherwise dress up for Halloween, and didn't want to burn money on a single-use costume, I asked a mechanic friend of mine if I could borrow one of his jumpsuits from work, and he obliged. This was good both because it was a free costume, and because it had a comedic element. Anyone who works with me knows I have a medical condition that disqualifies me from driving, so have never owned a car, let alone worried about car maintenance. So I was at the bus stop on the side of the road in my costume when a frantic woman runs up to me. She will be FW. "Sir, excuse me, my car broke down and I have no idea what's wrong. I'm headed into work and really can't wait for a tow. Would you mind taking a look?" "Oh, haha, sorry, this is actually just a costume." "Do I look like I was born yesterday?" "No, really, I'm headed to a Halloween thing." "At 8 AM on a Monday? Look, if you don't want to help me, be man enough to say so. Don't go making up a wild story." "I can't help you. I don't even drive. I've never owned a car. I'd help if I could." "A mechanic who's never owned a car? Why are you jerking me around?" "I am not a mechanic. This is a costume." "I've got a baby in there. You're going to let a baby sit in a hot car because you're too lazy to take a quick peek under my hood?" "Thought you said you were going to work." "That is beside the point. Are you going to help me or no?" "I can't. I'm not a mechanic." "I'm not stupid." "I didn't say you were stupid. I said I'm not a mechanic." "I'm going to call your boss and tell him all about this. You better believe I'm posting it on Yelp too." "You don't think it's the least bit strange that a car mechanic is here at a bus stop?" "Turn around, let me see where you work." My buddy's company logo is on the back of the suit and his name is embroidered on the front. "Whatever, fine." The frantic woman dials and puts it on speaker. "You have about 2 seconds to change your mind. You're about to get fired." "Doubt that. You don't know where I work." She sputters inaudibly. BB is Buddy's boss. "Generic auto shop, how can I help?" "Yes, my car is broken down on the side of the road and your mechanic won't help me get it started." Ma'am, are you sure you've got the right shop name? We don't offer roadside assistance." "Well, I didn't call for roadside assistance, but he's right here and refuses to help me." "Ma'am, mechanics don't have to do anything outside the shop or off of the clock. You want a roadside assistant recommendation or..." "You don't understand. He offered to take a look and took $20 from me and now isn't doing anything. He's just standing refusing to help me." First of all, bold-faced lie. I've rarely seen an adult lie so shamelessly and out of nowhere. Second, if I just ripped her off for $20, why would I still be there? It wasn't even a well-conceived lie. "Oh, well, we can't have that. You're sure it was one of my guys? Did you catch his name tag?" "It says Mike." My buddy's boss calls to someone in the back. "Hey, did Mike leave?" My buddy Mike. "Nah boss, what's up?" "Listen, I don't know who this is, but don't you be prank calling this line again." My buddy's boss hangs up and I just smile dumbly at the frantic woman. "Anything else I can help you with?" "You're all just grease monkeys. Thank God I went to college and will never be stuck in a job like this, and have morals, and wouldn't leave a woman stranded on the side of the road and play such a mean trick, and..." She was still going as I got onto the bus. I called the shop to explain once I got on the bus, and we all had a good laugh. and my friend said I should post on here, so here I am. When she said, "Do you think I was born yesterday?" I'm actually beginning to believe she was. Apparently having strobe lights means I work for a tow company. A few days ago, I was driving into a busy intersection where there was a car sitting at the light. Not out of the ordinary at all, I know, but that's the only thing that is. I'm driving a truck for work, and we have a warehouse just up the street from the intersection I was now sat behind at. For a light cycle, I stay behind her in the turn lane and oblivious. I was fiddling with my music while I waited, so I didn't notice we'd gone through an entire cycle when I hear a tapping at the window beside me. I look out and the lady had gotten out of her car and walked back to me and was now staring me in the face with her older son, who was in his mid-30s, staring at me and standing in front of my truck. She didn't look like a Karen at first, more sweet older grandmother type, so I rolled down my window. "Yes?" I ask, now confused. Why don't you turn your freaking flashes on, dumb butt?" She yells at me as my window is about half down. I was a little stunned. I don't know her, I don't know him, and I'm certainly not on a job site. Looking at her car, I start to realize she's a disabled vehicle and she's broken down. I said, "Turn your flashes on and help me," yelling at me forcefully. Now, I'm normally alright with helping people out when they get into trouble, but I'm no tow service. I work for a local telecom provider, and my truck isn't what you'd call a tow truck. It's a tiny 2004 Ford Ranger. I don't even have a tow hitch on the back, and my decals are huge and plastered all over the truck saying who I work for and with the company branding everywhere. Not easy to miss at all, as it's on the doors, the hood, and the tailgate. "I'm sorry, I can't help you, ma'am. I'm heading to a job, I was cut off right as I was going to recommend she call a tow company. "You work for the towing company, and I've been waiting for over an hour. Now, get out and help me now." Screaming a little more before turning to her son and walking back a few steps, seemingly assuming I'm going to get out of my truck. I have no intention of doing this, and simply tap the door panel on the top of the gigantic decal. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I don't work for a tow company. I work for ye old telecom company, and I can't help you with your car. If you'd like, I can call the police and have them come to stop traffic though. We're friends with a lot of local cops, and they usually enjoy riding out to help us with stuff, like blocking traffic anyway, cause they get to chill in their car often when we call." I'm about to get my phone out when she starts yelling again. "You have strobe lights on your truck. You have to help me." She yells in exasperation, pointing to my strobe lights. Because we work in a field that involves doing roadwork and construction, we do have yellow strobe lights, it's true. But that's all vehicles that work along or on the road. It's required in my state, and our company just has them like anyone else. "Ma'am, I really don't have time for this. I can't tow you, and I don't work for..." I start to explain and roll up my window. She then steps forward and puts her hand in my window. I have manuals, so I just stop rolling to keep from smashing her fingers. "You will help me right now, or I will call your boss and get you fired." At this point, I'm just flabbergasted, and put my car into drive so that I could leave. The son, who until now had just stayed quiet, moved to block my car from leaving, and I start to get really worried at this point. I've had people try to claim injury or insurance from accidents in the past, so I just put it back in park, as now there are other cars behind me. And if he won't get out of the way, I have no way to leave without hitting him. She starts pulling out her phone, looking at the door panel. I'm going to call your boss right now, as she starts dialing the phone number, which is just the general support customer service number, and she gets the automated, "Welcome to ye old telephone company, greeting." Normally, with this information, you'd think that this angry woman would put it together that my tiny truck, decked out in decals, and calling and getting the automated call in attendant would tip her off to the fact that I really don't work for a tow company. But no, instead, she shoves her phone in front of the window and yells through at me. "I don't want to pay my phone bill. I want to talk to your manager. Get him on the phone and I want you written up and fired for refusing to help me." She yells almost in tears, as I'm almost laughing at this point. It's been a while since I've had someone just act so irrationally I can't contain my laughter, as she finally moves her hand out of my window and I roll it up the rest of the way. Through the window, she starts yelling at me, and I start to ignore her, picking up my own phone and calling the police. But instead of asking for help, I tell them about this crazy lady holding up traffic and threatening me and keeping me from driving away. They sent an officer right away who was actually just up the road a block or two, and he was there in less than 2 minutes. Pulling up, he instantly got out and asked her what was going on. Within moments of him getting here, she's walking up to the cop's car. "You need to arrest this man. He won't help me get out of the intersection." Great, that is not my job. I instantly knew where this was going, and I wasn't at all worried. The cop, who was one of the guys I'd worked with a lot, and had actually shared beers with, looked in, nodded, and said to me, "Give me a minute," as he stands back and looks at my truck and her car. "Ma'am, your car has no damage to the rear end. I see no cause for an incident. Do you need assistance or is your car actually disabled?" He asks her very accommodatingly as I look on. He's quickly scanning both vehicles again, and the son, as the mum, starts to gibber about. No, my car doesn't run at all," she states a little less confidently. She goes forward and turns the key, and indeed the car doesn't run. It turns out though that the car was just out of gas. So instead of behaving like a normal human being, she instead accosted me and, as my friend put it, endangered traffic because they were blocking traffic and falsely holding me from leaving. They deny this, and then I pull my trump card. I tap on my dash mount, which is an older Android phone, but one that I use dashcam software on whenever I drive. It looks just like a phone in a mount, but if you don't know, you would never have guessed that it was running special software and had recorded the entire interaction. Added bonus, I had wired up an external microphone to it a few weeks ago, so I captured audio. So the entire encounter, her banshee cries, her actions were all on camera, and on audio recording. I won't share these for privacy reasons, but it was more than enough to have her instantly stop the charade and instantly go red in the face with embarrassment. My friend asked me if I was okay, or if I wanted to press charges for anything, assault or for false imprisonment, and I just waved him off. I didn't care much for more paperwork, and just wanted to go on with my day. In the end, Karen and her son got a ticket for impeding traffic, a non-moving violation, and the cop got them some gas from a tank some cruisers kept in their vehicles for stranded vehicles, just like this. All of this was just a 10-minute inconvenience for me, but just goes to show when people don't know how to respond to a situation, they just as easily blame someone else for issues as simple as filling up their tank with gas. I would have been more than happy to run up and get her a gallon myself if she'd just asked nicely, but now she's sitting with a ticket and a fine because I happen to have a set of strobes on my vehicle. You'd think, the 30-year-old son and his mum, there being two people, could, push the car into a better position so they're not blocking traffic, but I guess that's just the mentality of some of these people. Go right ahead, doctor. So I was visiting my wife, who was laid up on a ward in hospital. It was early evening and I'd come straight from work. Because of her illness, she's feeling very nauseous. And I approach one of the nursing staff to request a couple of the disposable cardboard sick balls. They point me towards a supply cupboard and tell me the code. Okay, that doesn't usually happen. I go in and quickly locate what I need, and head back to my wife. A short while later, a nurse comes over to remind me blood test results are back for some of the other patients on the ward. I'm just a visitor in a suit, lady. You're going to need a doctor for that. It's kind of funny, but also kind of worrying that the nurses don't know who the real doctor is. Costco and the old lady. Me, headphones in, jamming to my music while shopping. The Costco shopper taps on my shoulder. Yes? You're very disrespectful listening to your music, ignoring customers while you were at work. Excuse me, I don't work. The customer doesn't let me finish, and in an angry voice, I want to speak to the manager about how disrespectful you are to customers, ignoring them. Okay, let's go get a manager. We find a manager. How can I help you? Your employee is very rude. She is listening to her music while I'm asking for her help. The manager looks at me and looks back at the customer. Ma'am, she doesn't work here. She's just a shopper like you. Ma'am, I'm sorry. The customer pulls a shocked face. Oh, sorry, you just look like you worked here. Well, I don't. I tried telling you. Such a sweet and classic example of an I don't work here lady moment. Is there lots of people like that at Costco? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.